Well, good evening and welcome to the Arbor Hills Nature Preserve in Plano, Texas on a rather dreary and somewhat cold evening. Tonight's exercise is a field test of the ACEBEAM TAC AA light. I want to thank ACEBEAM for sending me the light and making the review possible. This is the second light of this general style and form factor that I've reviewed on the channel, the previous being the Pokelet AA 14500 battery, although it supposedly runs on AA alkaline or nickel metal hydride. We'll find out a bit more about that later. Available in cool or neutral white. This is neutral high CRI, so I'm expecting something that's good for nature observation. We'll see how that works out as well. Very quickly, tail cap only switch. UI is similar to the previous model. You half press in and out to quickly cycle through the 4 output levels, which are ultra low, low, medium, high, full press, or a click if you will, and that will hold that output level. If you click off and then click back on, it will jump up to the next output level in the cycle. All right, that's just the very basic overview. Very good texturing and feel, but you may not care about that. I think what you're most interested in is how does it perform out in the field. On that note, we've had some light rain out here. It's misting right now. I don't know how that will keep up over the course of the evening, so it looks like we're going to get a review and a light rain test all in one. Well, I'm here at the bridge where I normally do output level test. I'm holding a half press. This is ultra low. So I let off, low. You have to let off and then come back. This is medium, so let's get over here to something you may have seen before in other videos. Maximum line of sight, a good 35 yards, and then high. So we do have a very light mist out. Not much of an issue to me, although as the wind picks up, it could be an issue as the night progresses. In fact, there's a good burst of wind right there. This is the close proximity search here at the playground. The scenario is your kids were playing out here earlier, dropped something, now you have to come back and search for it. What's the lowest level of illumination that I can do an effective close quarter search? And this is in low. Yeah, definitely getting the job done. So as you can see, quite muddy, quite slick. For path following, I think you're going to want to be in at least the medium output level. Definitely good at picking up areas where you might slip. So let's head on out here. So I'm essentially using the ACEBEAM in lieu of a headlamp, but for night hiking over extremely well-groomed conditions, this would definitely work for you. And then the high CRI output would be very good for just general nature observation. And as you can see, we've got somebody else out tonight. So this is a quick standalone high test, well over 35 yards line of sight across the second creek. Again, looking out over the entrance to the outer loop trail, about 21, 22 to the sign. And then we'll swing around to the right here, as I've done in so many other demos, out to where the path bends off to the right. All right, we're getting 2 or 3 tests here. This is in high output, about 48 yards to that tree straight ahead of me. We are at the top of a rise and exposed to all the light pollution from the surrounding city, as well as the light to the left of me from the observation tower. And we have this very light mist, and we're going to do a burn down here. Yeah, and there we're seeing it already. Almost no heat to speak of, the head area of the light. And this is consistent with what I saw in the manual, about 35, 45 seconds gradual burn down. And this should be a steady state. So I'll let this go maybe 2 minutes just to confirm that. Coming up on 1.5 minutes. And one more pan back and forth. And there we have it, well over 2 minutes sustained in high output level. So this is where I wrapped up the previous ACEBEAM light that was similar to this, to the Pokelit AA, and we are in medium output level on the TAC AA. I think this is the output level, especially if this is the only light you've got, and especially in a constant on setting, this is what you would probably use the most often. So I wanted to give you one last good look. Now normally I'm standing over there when I do a lot of these final wrap-ups. I'm in a little bit different position so I can give you a different angle. And it's pretty bright out tonight. Of course, we've got the slight drizzle in a much darker environment. This would be even more impressive. But the night is not over yet. I've got one more thing I want to try. So I'm almost back where I started, up at the picnic area. We have quite a bit of street light and other light around me, but then we have these dark pockets right through here in ultra low, then low, and then medium. So there's a reason for this, and I'll get to it in just a few seconds. I do not have any nickel metal hydride AA's, but I do have a Duracell Optimum. So let's see what happens. This would be the equivalent to what we've been calling medium, running on the Duracell Optimum. And we can go one up from that. So this is running off the AA Duracell Optimum. This is the highest output that you are going to get. So we'll look back into this lighting here. And then one more time to a bit darker area over on the right. And now we are exactly back to where we started. A very interesting exercise. I suppose my first observation as a long-time user of what might be called tactical flashlights, although this has TAC in the name, I would personally not advertise or promote it as a TAC light. The form factor, the weight, the texturing, the feel, the fit, finish, absolutely this light has its place. In fact, when my wife saw the Pokelit AA, she took one look at it and said, "Oh yeah, that's mine." Well, I'm going to make sure that she doesn't see this one. For my own purposes, would I use this light, particularly in search and rescue? I think the answer is yes. I always use a utility light that is very small, very lightweight, has that ability to run off of a AA. I always keep AA's as a backup. I would probably use it as a tracking light in search and rescue, particularly given the high CRI output. That can be useful from time to time for identifying sign on the ground or getting really good color information quickly off of a piece of clothing that got torn and is stuck on a branch. I could see uses in night videography. You may come up with a lot more use cases. I think these things typically come down to you have to decide what you think about price, UI, features, and then from there on, its performance. Of course, I can't make that decision for you. Like I've said so many times, I'm just the bozo that gets out here in the bad elements and hangs out with the wild animals and runs the test. So all I can hope is that you got enough information tonight. You saw what you were looking for. If you want more, leave a comment. I'll see what I can do. And on that happy note, I'm going to shut it down for tonight. And as always, until the next review, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for watching the video.